Hi, everybody. Ooh, this one's going to be a doozy. I am coming online because I'm finding a lot of stuff right now, and well, this show, what I'm trying to produce was things in the news that kind of make you go a little nutty. When things just don't add up, or when you get articles that are telling you that um to think or feel a certain way, and they're using a lot of logical fallacies to be able to put the news out. So, the intent of this channel was to kind of look through all of this stuff and understand what it is that we're seeing and feeling and understanding. And I don't have a lot of followers, but that's okay. I'm learning all of this at the same time that you guys are, and well, I figured maybe we could share some information on here. Not a podcaster. You see, I have 7 followers, and I think for the most part, there's probably just, those might even be bots. So, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just on here because I see things, and, I, I have questions. I think all you guys have questions too. So, I'm gonna try to make this guy, there we go, my video capture. I'm going to try and bring this in a little bit, guys, because I started having a problem where I couldn't get this to populate on my actual computer. So this was, there we can see it. I've got all these things on here, but okay, so here's the phone, right? I'm trying to get it in a good view. So you can see it's a Fortune, right? Renee's Goods ex-husband described her. Trying to get it to come out right. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have a way to do this that's any better at the moment. So her ex-husband describes her as no kind of activist whatsoever. She was heading home. Um, here's here. I'll show you. I mean, like it's a whole article. I'm trying to get the words to be able to come in. I think it's because, right? See, it's an actual article. It's a real article on my phone. And so here's my issue, right? And I'll read this to you guys real quick. Um, so it starts off before Renee Good was fatally shot behind the wheel of her vehicle by a U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement officer. The 37-year-old mother of 3 dropped off her youngest child at an elementary school at Minneapolis. I do have screenshots of this on my phone. So I will be uploading those to the computer to make sure that I at least have things available. Anyways, while Trump administration officials continued Thursday to paint Good as a domestic terrorist who attempted to ram federal agents with their Honda Pilot, members of her family, friends, and neighbors mourned. Okay, so Good, her 6-year-old son, and her wife only recently located to Minneapolis from Kansas City, Missouri. The family settled on a quiet residential street of older homes and multi-family buildings, some front porches with pride flags still twinkling with holiday lights. Anyways, so let's go down here a little bit. A couple more. So anyways, so then the article goes on to say, come on. Come on. There we go. You can see it right there. Her ex-husband, who asked not to be named out of concern for the safety of their children. That would imply more than one, even though there's only a 6-year-old being talked about. Said Good was no activist and he never knew her to participate in a protest of any kind. He said she was headed home before the encounter with a group of ICE agents on a snowy street. Now, let me make this smaller because it's not me. It's not me, babe. No, no, it ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for. I'm actually searching for the truth. And the truth is that what I also found was this. Now, as far as I understand, the Advocate is a long-standing LGBTQ plus allies, um, long-standing. I mean, anytime that I go everywhere. I like all types of people. I have no issues with anyone. I don't care what your background, creed, or whatever is. Um, ethnicity is no issue to me. I just like to be around people who treat people as decent human beings. That's my only stipulation. So, anyways, what I thought was really interesting on this one, um, was so here's the woman being quoted, "They killed my wife. I don't know what to do." I can't, I was gonna open up the footage. I can try and open up the footage on here. I didn't have Instagram. It's actually a link to Instagram, so I'll see here in a second if I can actually get on to Instagram through this computer. I think I've got it set up. So anyways, it says we have a 6-year-old at school. It was a chaotic scene, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so as you keep going down, now remember, Forbes just said that they're not releasing the name of the ex-husband because of the children. But if you come down here, the Advocate states that Good was previously married to a man named Timmy Ray Mackin, who died in 2023 at the age of 36. Now, granted, this is according to the Star Tribune. So, and look, guys, I was trying to find these Fortune 500. Look, I can't even find the guy here. Here's my other issue. I was actually able to pull this up for half a second earlier. Okay, here, I'm going to show you something. So, we've got Renee Goods. Ex-husband described her as no kind of activist whatsoever. Finally, I could get this up. Why? Because I am on a different browser. I believe. Nope, I'm on MSN. Anyways, I was having the hardest time trying to get this to populate for a while. So, Renee Good's ex-husband describes her as no kind of activist whatsoever. Yet, if you come over here, her husband died in 2023. So now I have real questions, guys. Super duper questions. Who's this guy? Timmy Ray Mackin. So Timmy Ray, right? Ice killed Timmy Ray Mackin. All right. So Timmy Ray Mackin. Okay, Timmy Ray Mackin. Okay, so here's a Hindu stuff. See, now, here's all these people that have Timmy Ray Mackin on here. But these are all. I mean, you're talking about Daily Beast. See, Find a Grave. This is saying. But this is in Oregon City, Oregon. Apparently, they came from Colorado. And see, these are Star Tribune. So who is this guy? There's a Hindu Times? Is that what it is? Timmy Ray Mackin Sr., the father of Good's ex-husband, confirmed to that Timmy Ray Mackin Jr. was married. He also confirmed that they had a son who is now 6 years old. Nobody else in his life. Department of Homeland Security is maintained. See, these guys are talking to. I don't understand. So this stuff looks like propaganda stuff, right? Doesn't it? Like Hillside Chapel. Here's the obituary. And this was December to May. Okay. Videos, obituary. Okay. He was a loving son, devoted father, nurturing, about it. Knoxville, Tennessee. Okay, so this is the guy that originally they are saying it was the ex-husband. United States Air Force. Vicky and Steve, his siblings, as well as his children, Sophie, Rory, and Emerson. Okay. But that was in Oregon. And it says nothing about how he died. And no mention to the other lady. So Advocate, are you just throwing out names? And this is the Times of India. So there's two separate ideas that are out there. All right. So who is Renee Good's ex-husband? Who is Renee Good's ex-husband? And even Bing is bringing this up. Left her widowed. You know, I find it interesting though. So, okay. I'm super confused. I'm super confused. I'm super confused. Like, because these are like gazettes and Daily Beast and stuff that, you know, might not be where you actually get your news from. But they're naming this guy. And then these other places are saying that they won't name the ex-husband due to I mean, but the name's already out there. I'm having a hard time with this. I'm having a hard time with this because this is where at no point do I ever think it is at no point do I ever think that anyone has the right to use a weapon if they are not in actual imminent danger. And I also believe that if you are the aggressor, technically you're not the one who's in imminent danger. Now, people are going to pull that apart as much as they want. That's just how I see things. But what I do find this really interesting. Like, why, who are all these people? And how is it that she has an ex-husband that's speaking up and then also an ex-husband that died in 2003? I have questions. Questions. I have a lot of questions. And so that's kind of where I'm at the moment. I'm not I know it's a small thing. Probably a small thing. Is it a small thing? That's a good question. I have no idea if it's a small thing or not. But this is what I'm kind of wondering, like why, how, um, it's boggling my mind, who actually has is this guy just being named to confuse us? Because there was nothing in there about the ex-wife. Maybe that, I mean, you would think. But she supposedly moved from Colorado and he was buried in Oregon. I'm not, I have questions. I have questions, like, because if we're not all being given the proper information, then how do we really how do we have conversations between all of us? When it really comes down to it, how do we as a people really begin to understand what it is that we're even arguing about? I mean, I so many times. I mean, I've pulled myself on and off of social media multiple times over because you just get to the point where you're overloaded. You have no idea. You have no idea. Because you think something is one way. You've researched it up and down 20,000 times over. And I was actually starting to pull my hair out before I popped this up because I couldn't get that article to populate at all out of the Fortune magazine on my computer. It just wasn't happening. I had to open up 3 separate browsers to be able to get that to pop back up again, and Fortune wasn't even finding it. So, and then all of a sudden, here we go. I don't know, it's very strange. It makes me wonder what's being edited in real time, I mean, I am obviously old enough to have remembered the the book 1984, and I think one of the biggest things that came out of that was the total changeover of information overnight. It's definitely worth the read if you can find an original copy. I never thought it was possible for them to be able to pull it off until the age of technology. So, so we have two different sides to the story. Okay. Let's look at. Okay, so here's my January 9th, right? And I think this is what was driving me crazy earlier is that if you actually looked up, and let me see if I can do this again, recreate the situation. Oops, nope, name spelled wrong. It's Aelbiesecker. So this was the person that actually wrote, and this is what I was talking about, guys. Um, I'm trying to look these up, right? I'm trying to look up this information, and for some reason, even if I look this up, January 9th, 2026. Oh, because it keeps changing well, it would help if it didn't change. Did I not change that back? Okay, so January 9. Let's just run through an exercise here. 2026. And I'm not the best typist, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. So the only two things that pop up for that date is some Apple news, right? And then if I go to newest, it's still Apple, Apple. Let me see if it'll even come up. Personal finance, mortgage, current arm, real estate, finance, 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 finance. But now we're getting into, see what I'm saying? So it's not even newest. But now let's go to Michael. Stop changing it. BIE. Nothing. But that's exactly how it is there. Hmm. I don't know, guys. Scratching my head. That's where I'm at. And these are the things that oh, you know what? Sorry. I was going through that whole thing and not showing you. So anyways, January 9th, 2006, and I'm trying to bring up the author's name, right? Biesecker. Okay. Okay, so finally it's bringing this stuff up. And okay, so maybe it was because it was changing my spell check may have been changing the E and the A for a second. But the other thing is that for a minute I was getting a paywall too. And as you can see right now, there's no paywall. There it is. Haha, here came that paywall. So. I've got that on video now, don't I? But yeah, so here's these paywalls now that are going to come into. They're like, oh, you've seen enough. Here's a paywall. And this is the other thing too, guys. Information, right? Is it really free? Is your information actually free? Because at this point, for me to actually see what they're talking about, the fact that she might even have an ex-husband that's alive at the present moment, I don't know. The Advocate says it's not. Right here. Now, granted, this is due to the Star Tribune, but previously married to Timmy Ray Mackin. Where's everybody getting this information? She's not even listed in the obituary. So which one? I mean, we have a name for this one. And then if you look at Bing, Renee Good was previously married to him. Even the AI is populating it. Is that where they're getting it from? Bollywood. A lot of this is coming out of India. Anybody notice that? That is Bollywood, by the way, if you didn't know. That's India. Um later. Not subscribing to anything. All right. Hails from Colorado Springs, where she lived in the twin. She originally hails from Colorado. See, where she lived in the Twin Cities with her partner, Colorado, and this is what I'm saying. Are we sure that half of this stuff isn't just populated by AI? Because this doesn't make any sense. Renee originally hails from Colorado Springs, where she lived in the Twin Cities with her partner. The Twin Cities is in Minneapolis, is Minnesota. That's the Twin Cities. Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs. So let's look this up. Okay, Colorado Springs is where? Colorado Springs. City in Colorado, USA, right? Now, sorry guys, let me move something else real quick because this is annoying the piss out of me at the moment. Image. browser. This guy here. Sorry. Let me move him down here. My bad. All right. So Colorado Springs is in Colorado State, right? The Twin Cities. Oops. Twin Cities. Twin Cities. Minneapolis, St. Paul, right? That's the Twin Cities. Minneapolis, St. Paul. As far Twin Cities, St. Paul News. Minneapolis, St. Paul. That's how I've always known it. So let's read that sentence one more time, right? Renee originally hails from Colorado Springs, where she lived in the Twin Cities with her partner. Those are two different states. Two separate states. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. I mean, if you are, I don't know if it's been 7 days or not, but if you saw my original video where I was opening up and want to give you guys a taste of what I actually want to talk about on here, this is what I'm talking about. When you find stuff like this, right? And a lot of us just kind of glance over it and read over it and go, it is what it is. And, or maybe you're reading every other word, or maybe you're speed reading and you just take out the uhs, the thes, the was, and the filler, well, but this is what I'm talking about, like what are we actually reading, right? I mean, you have Bollywood, you have what looks to be AI generated, and then on top of it, they're trying to say that this guy was actually alive in Fortune. Renee Good's ex-husband describes her as no kind of activist whatsoever. So he's dead, yet he's giving statements. I'm still trying to understand this. Anyways, feel free to hop on. I'm gonna try and I mean, I find stuff every day, so I'm gonna come on here. I'm gonna talk to you guys about it. I'm gonna show you what your news actually looks like. And the funny thing is that I got this through my feed. Wasn't just Fortune. I got this on my feed. Through, I think it was, no, through like Google Stories, you know? Google Stories on my phone. The ones that populate on your phone, that's where I got it from. So anyways, guys, before you have that argument with your mom, before you have that argument with your dad, your grandpa, your husband, your kids, before you have that argument over who's right, why don't you take a quick look at where the sources are coming from. We'll chat about this later, guys. I gotta actually go make some real money today, but if you like this content, join up. I'll be making these as much as I possibly can. Obviously, with a little bit of help and support, I can do this more often. But I need to go pay the bills, and I will be back with you guys currently in my free time. So I'll be back to share some more interesting ways to look at the news. Guys, I'm stuck in the middle with you. I'm learning as you are. I'll see you guys on the next trip around. All right.